keeping this tournament alive. Oh, Tenchi says it is him. Okay, it makes sense now. To be expected, absolutely. But here we go, guys. This game is about to start. Hello everybody and welcome to our last game of King of the Hill Week 2, Season 2, and of course our current king after winning the last game against Von Ivan is Helping Hands, playing as the OKW from the south side of Crossing in the Woods.
And in the north, operating on high-octane jet fuel, it's J for Jet, and he's playing as the mighty United States Forces. This is Crossing in the Woods. It's had a few delicate changes. Notice Dan Devem's shed is missing there, so it gives some symmetry in the south. Also, various points are now equidistant from each base sector, and there's a few other small pathing changes just to make the map flow a little bit better. It was already pretty damn good, but now it should be a little bit fairer, is the idea.
It was, yeah, and I'm actually glad that they removed the house that was in this position before, because we've seen that just it's wiped people from the game, quite frankly, very early on, as being so difficult to counter for some factions. So it is nice to see that change. Means we will guarantee get a little bit of a longer game on these maps.
A rather controversial and very strong change to OKW is, of course, the Luke's change that's just come in the past 2 days, and that is the build time is now more than twice what it was, so it's going to be heavily delayed in its timing and arrival if Helping Hands chose to go for it.
Yeah, and that's 40 seconds to 85 seconds. So...
What? Hang on.
That's what it says.
You knew that change?
Yes.
This is crazy. What's happened to you?
Read the patch
You're
notes.
A changed person.
I know.
You did the entirety of the first season of King of the Hill without reading the patch notes once.
I know. I decided to up my game.
Amazing. God, I feel like I've been made redundant over here. So we've got a nice start to the game. Double rear echelons, it must be said, and that, of course, will allow Jay to get a lot more smoke if he chose to go for it.
No early commander choices in this game, and I always say this, I do like that. I do like when players are prepared to fight with the base factions, leave their commander choices for the situation that develops as the game goes on. We've seen it today that when players do pick those commanders first, as Von Ivan did in the last game, can leave you in a bad position, choosing it without the knowledge of your opponent first. So I think it's nice, I think it's good to see this, and we have some, we got recon support here with the improved M8 Greyhound, which could be picked for J for Jet.
Oh, there's a lot of improvements to that faction, it'd be great to see it. It's nice that Helping Hands chose to go with Ostrupen in that previous game, or as I like to call it, the flaying of Von Ivan, the live flaying, as Helping Hands turned into Ramsey Bolton for a moment. But yeah, it would be cool to see that indeed. I mean, Dan, people in chat, by the way, have been trying to say that this isn't an OKW favoured map, but I actually think it is. I think the tree cover allows you to get your trucks in quite prominent positions.
Yeah, I think previously, hasn't it been due to the indirect fire options for OKW being minimal? I mean, like yeah, because... I don't know, I personally myself would say I veto this map as OKW. You know, I don't play it because I personally find it difficult, but to be honest I couldn't nail down exactly why. I think it's also just getting thrown left to right, and I just never feel like...
You do play with Tenchi in 2v2, so when you play OKW, so it is difficult to quantify and do proper statistical analysis, you know. I
would say it's difficult for me to say why, but I personally do put this down as an OKW map that I would rather not play.
These riflemen just swarmed through the trees, which are now a lot more accessible. There's large gaps in the way more towards the centre of them, and not as impassable as they once were.
This is very ballsy of J for Jet in the early game. I don't know if you noticed as well, because he didn't go for that third rifleman. He has gone very, very fast into the lieutenant, and he's going to get that M20 out in the field as quick as he possibly can. And I think he's done a good job managing his resources there as well, because with the double echelon, yeah, echelon coming out in place of that rifleman.
I think he's taking advantage of the Luke's window now, and it's actually giving him a new strategy, and that's exciting to see. We like to see turnabout and meta. That's what makes playing on a balance patch and a lot more exciting. So previously, J4Jet would not have been able to go M20 against OKW. He now is able to do just that. So we'll be able to see how it plays.
Yeah, and I mean, Hans is still going to put some pressure on because, of course, he is going for the Raketten. And it's worth noting that Mechanized is in the build already, so Faust will be available in these Volks, and he won't be able to push them around like this for too much longer. Hopefully, J4Jet spotted what may have been a mine there. It didn't actually get planted. Oh, did you see he used the ability there? He actually used the raid tactics, and he's actually decapping Hans from the whole map at the moment.
The M20 just ran into the flak emplacement back in base. He was trying to put some good pressure on the Sturm Pioneers, but it's not worked out in his favour. The M20 has survived that onslaught. We do have one SWS truck up. It is the Mechanized Regiment headquarters. So it was possible that Helping Hands would be going for the Lukes, but as I say, it's going to take significantly long to come out.
When you really look at how the M20 has changed the map control, just from that unit coming up, just from making Hands, raid tactics is like forced Hands to basically spend time with his units, getting those territories back, and has just created a huge shift in the map right now. You see the vehicle crew have come out and been replaced with echelons, which I always love seeing. It's a really good use of those.
It's a shame to the US.
Yeah, I know. One of the weird things, because you know USF was kind of built around this, well, you can change your vehicle crews, so you get veteran CM in the early game units, and then if you want, if you're really, really paying attention, you can get those vetted crews into a late game tank when it comes out and have it with Vet 1 already, as like a little faction trick. You don't really see that. A lot of people rather have the bazooka from the vehicle crew, you know, for the M20, so you don't really get the benefit of
One thing J4Jet is getting the benefit of right now is very good map control. He's been all over the place, and he's got a lot of strategic territories in his favour, and currently both high munitions, which is really going to allow him to put the caution if he needs to.
Well, AE, we were in minute 4 of Luke's building time, and that was due to be on the field around 15 minutes of the game. It is slow. It is slow though.
This look at how slow it goes up. Is that
it going up?
Oh no, it just went down a bit. I swear to God, it went down a bit. Hang on, did it? Is this artificial balancing? I don't know. Is this right? I think what they wanted to do was mean that you could always go the mechanized for something else. It's just the Lukes that was delayed. But what else would you go the mechanized for in a 1v1? Nobody goes for a fast Stukas, do they?
Well, I think it's designed to open up those options a little bit more, because OKW will be able to just survive without the Lukes as quick as it was coming out. But we'll have to just see how this balance change goes. Hans does have it on the field now, so let's see if we see that same window of time we saw from the M20 reversed in an OKW favour. So, you know, let's see how this works.
I've got to be honest, mate. Did that M20 in the minute longer it took the Lukes to come out accomplish enough to now mean that J4Jet does not have a counter to the Lukes? Like, is it worth it, basically, to have gone? I actually
think if he hadn't have done that and reclaimed the map control in the way he did, he would have been in the series. But I actually think he did good. And remember, he does have bazookas. He's teched up to bazookas on his squads. He's got them on the rifleman. He's got them on the vehicle crew. Okay. So it's not like he's left himself without AT. He gained map control for us. So I do actually think the M20 saved the early game from him, if I'm honest.
But it is gross seeing a bazooka on a rifleman, it has to be said.
You feel terrible, don't you?
It's like, what have you done? Did you misclick? Like, what is that? They're an anti-infantry squad, and everybody uses them as such, except J4Jet in this one game. Sorry, there's probably loads of 4v4 players in chat. Don't listen to me, you keep doing what you do best, but that's...
J4Jet is getting his healing sorted already, something which Hans is currently having to spend munitions on with the medical supplies right now, so that's a nice little... I always think that's a really nice thing about pushing for mechanized as well, is that, you know, it's going to cost you resources to heal your troops, unless you get them to a veterancy level where they can start doing it themselves. But you know, that doesn't happen early on, and it can be the difference between your opponent forcing you out of cover position with grenades or upgrading to, you know, STGs and things like that. So the Mechanized does have its drawbacks at the start of the game. And by getting healing, J4Jet is going to kind of offset that balance a little bit, as he rightly should.
One thing as well J4Jet has is, of course, the 50 cal currently in the western point facing the wrong way. But the 50 cal, of course, he's sacrificed a lot of anti-infantry prowess by having a fifth of 3 of his anti-infantry squads now toting a bazooka. So by going for the MG, he actually irons out that flaw in his build order, and it could actually work overall.
Yeah, that's still right.
You still think J4Jet's right? Oh, to go for bazooka, certainly, but he had 2 rear echelons. He could have just... it is rare to see 2 rifles under lieutenants have bazookas, would you not say?
It is a lot. It seems a lot, but...
It's rare. It's very, very rare.
Well, I think it kind of plays into the fact that we were talking about earlier about OKW having this issue when... sorry, not issue, but... The Luke scheme is very mobile, it can spread left to right, so maybe he's putting it because he wants to spread his infantry left to right and always needs AT there. So it could be something to do with that, but hard to say, but we'll let him get on with what he thinks is the right thing to do here.
We'll also now have, just west of the bridge, we're calling that Mine Alley. There's an OKW shoe mine and a USF M6 mine on that sector, so vehicles need to watch out.
Luke's is still doing really well here. I fail to see, I mean, the bazookas, as good as they are, you know, we do have the Stern Pioneers upgraded with the combat package, so they're repairing quickly. And the Luke's is just mobile enough to just pick away over time and just keep those units off the field. So it is still a very good unit, you know, even at the time it comes out.
Saying that, it has only gotten 3 kills, Dan. It's gotten 3 kills, so you say it's doing very well. I think it's not about
I don't think it's about the amount of kills it's got. It's the value of keeping J4Jet's units off of the front lines.
True. Good point.
You can't move up, and it's like checkmate every time this unit moves anywhere at the moment. So
that's a very good point. It's not necessarily kills in Company of Heroes. It's often, as Dan describes, you've got a unit that means your opponent's units can no longer be where they want to be, and that is worth its weight in numbers.
Caught this MG off guard, and he's going to be reverse chasing them. They have to work through some Volksgrenadiers as well, who will be trying
and the Kubels coming in. The Volksgrenadier also, that's 1 dead 50 cal. How little we knew ye.
I think Hans... trying to work out whether Hans had made a little mistake there, capping that MG and maybe risking losing that 1 Volksgrenadier squad. But with support from the Lukes and the fact that that unit's holding the Evo, he may have made a very good call there.
It's done very good to get that. He's now got 3 MGs as helping hands. He's got the 2 MG34s now, 50 cal as well. He is going to...
It's the Greyhound! Do you see it?
I do indeed. We have the M8 Greyhound on the field. We've got 2 armoured cars. J4Jet has gone kind of anti-meta in this game. He's gone for some kind of strange strategy involving armoured cars. Let's see how it plays out. I'm all for this to be useful. One thing I know it'll certainly do is allow him to raid and capture territories with those cars.
He used it very well at the start of the game. I thought that kind of deep push to Hans was incredible.
Tell you what, one thing that will put a spanner in the works though, and that is the Puma armoured car. Thing that looks like 90s tech in the 1940s. It's about to hit the field, and it's a very vicious specimen.
Yeah, this is going to make life really, really difficult for J4Jet because it's a tough one. Although we do see that, I think that M20 mine, the M6 may trip something up eventually and be really, really useful. But even then, this light vehicle play, where is it going? Because he has no infantry strength, and as US not having infantry strength or infantry dominance, it seems a little bit off the mark with how US is normally found in this game.
Ooh, the M20's in a difficult patch. The Lux is penetrating that rear armor. That's one dead M20. Dan, do you want me to tell you a little tidbit of information? If it's, let's just make sure there's no major engagements going on. No, there isn't. Do you know what the best IFV, that's armored core or infantry fighting vehicle, is in present day military kind of? It's widely considered the best.
No.
The Puma. The Kraus Maffel Wengman Rheinmetall Land System Puma armoured core is basically the modern day successor to the original World War II Puma, and it's genuinely the best armoured car in the world, or it's widely considered to be. And that's kind of cool, don't you think? The Germans are still making the Puma kind of to this day.
That is really cool, actually. The fact that they nailed it the first time. Well, nearly.
It looks quite a bit different, but it's not terribly different. And most armoured cars, like for the most of the 20th century, were just basically Pumas. This design is probably the most successful World War II design the Germans made. Or one of.
I feel like Hans might be just pushing a little bit too far with his vehicles without minesweepers. Just to the fact that we have seen those M6s around. And Hans, you know, I think maybe he hasn't pushed out to the left-hand side aggressively at the moment for that reason. But I'm just worried. I'm actually worried that it'll be the Lux that does this, because you see the Lux diving deep. The Lux is prepared to chase down these units. He's going to get another MG for this push. 4 MGs. You can lock down the entire map.
This is incredible from J for Jet. He's occupying, helping Hans's pot cap with MGs. This is insane. This is 7-dimensional boulder dash. I've never seen this in my life.
What is he trying to do with the Greyhound here against the Lux? He's trying to send in another one to help out, making a deep push down the middle of Crossing in the Woods to try and get Hans off the strategic points, to try and get him off his resources by decapping him. It's a nice push, actually, I have to say that. And now he's going to swarm the Lux with the Greyhounds, which just don't seem to be penetrating.
Not having the desired effect, and Big Daddy Puma's in town, and he's going to polish off these... Well, no! The Bazooka Riflemen are coming in! What an incredible strategy from J for Jet! Who would have thought this would work?
Yeah, he's actually getting some work done. He's completely removed Hans from... well, not completely, actually. He does need to cap one more point to finish that, but he's actually removed Hans from the left-hand side of the map. Capped 2 VPs. And puts himself in a position where he can actually look at starting to tech up.
This is insane. I love these innovative strategies. I genuinely do. I mean, everybody in chat, and myself included, we are a little bit suspicious of J for Jet's choices in this game, but they're working so far. He's getting a 3rd M8 now. I just lost a unit, but it's a bit bad.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, you can critique it, but it's always actually really nice to be surprised. And actually, I have a lot of respect for people who do play their own style and play it well. And, you know, actually, Hans is one of those players. You know, you see a lot of the things found in this game, like Ostroupen against Brits and stuff, that were kind of coined by him, anyway.
So, just for those that don't know, the M8 has had some significant changes in this particular game. It's had a population decrease, hit point increase, massive hit point increase, by the way, from 240 to 400. Armor increase as well. A speed increase. Oh my god. It now takes 4 commander points to come out, however. It also has access to an MG mount, and it's had its reload normalized, so it's more consistent. So basically, it's a bit of a beast now.
Jet's trying to get away with this Raketten. Hans is going to be able to pick that back up. Could have been helpful, actually, having that Raketten. Hans is getting his second OKW headquarters up in the field, which means he may be going for...
headquarters, I think it'll be Battle Group. I was joking, obviously, the Schwer, surely.
No, I would honestly have thought he continues this line and heals his troops.
There's a 50-50 chance here. Which one's he going for? He can either have one or the other.
Oh, I don't know, maybe he's toying with the idea. Which one do I want to go for?
Who will win? Is it Dan Stormless Hobden or Matt A. Dunn in Ego Wars?
Well, you do, by the way, the Puma went down there. I hope you saw that, right? Yeah, you didn't see that?
Did you get it on camera at least?
I did, actually, yes.
And what happened?
Oh, I don't know. hit the mine.
It's
hit
the battle
M6
group.
mine.
It's going. Oh, there you go.
No, it's bad.
At least you got it on camera, Dan.
Don't try and change the subject.
No, you got that on camera. You're a great cameraman. I'm so glad. Oh, look at this engagement in the middle here. The Greyhounds are swarming. The French Grenadiers, I don't know what is coming in for them. Possibly canister round.
Oh!
There you go. Canister round goes in. And the little bits and parts of those units can be packed in a canister and sent back to America right now. That is disgusting.
That is exactly the type of thing we need to see to get J4Jet back into this game, is that canister round, which was brutal. And game's playing up a little bit there, but this is interesting because with Hans going for that battle, he doesn't. The only thing he's got with a late game call is his breakthrough, and so it means that we're going to get an extended period for this kind of light vehicle play, which has been going on for ages.
Oh, this is such a cool game so far. You've got to look at Helping Hands' victory point count as well. 286 and dropping. J4Jet sitting proud on 426. And with that battle group headquarters, it must be said, I mean, although he's going to have more healed squads, he's now going to significantly delay any significant tech. Unless he goes for something like, of course... No, he doesn't have Command Panther either. That's not something he has access to.
No.
Oh,
no.
Interesting.
That decision has kind of put him a while off getting medium armor out. So we're going to see more of this. We're going to see more Battle of the Wits, light vehicles played around, and
what a game!
Yeah, it has been.
This is so enjoyable. This is why we're doing King of the Hill. This is what we cast for. And I'm sure, as viewers, this is the kind of stuff you tune in for. This is the kind of stuff I treasure. All 700 of you buggers, I'm sure you're enjoying the crap out of it. This Luke's now. Oh, Dan!
That was a bit of a mistake pushing in there. But Luke's, actually not penetrating much anymore. May have tried to get away with that.
He's down to one Greyhound. However, it must be said, he does have... hang on. Let me do the relic shuffle a second. He does, of course, have the... Does he have the... No, he doesn't have the major tech quite yet, or the captain. So he himself is in the first tier of tech. We're 22 minutes in, Dan, and these guys have barely left those first tech structures. We have Helping Hands, who's the furthest along in technically tier 3, but really that's just Pumas and Panzer 2s.
No, tier 4 is going down for Hans. He has actually put Panzerschwere up.
There we go.
But he is a while off fuel to get anything significant out, so we still have a window of time that J4Jet can work in. I just feel like J4Jet hasn't won the engagements in this game. He hasn't really won on the micro. Hans has been stronger. So as Hans gets a better army up, I think we'll start to see this fall very quickly.
Why are we having another 50 cal out? Surely J4Jet realises he's going to be between a rock and a hard place very shortly. I mean, he does have significant fuel as well, but nothing to spend it on. I would recommend getting major as soon as possible would be the call.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got the airdropped combat squad. Would he do that? Paratroopers dropped with an AT gun.
Oh, that could be useful.
I would have thought.
Oh, Canister goes in, isn't able to vanquish the Rakettenwerfer. However, no, the Pintle Mount takes up the mantle, and the Faust has already been used. The M8 looks likely to survive that.
Yeah, Luke's is on its way over to try and deal with that. You see Hans responding immediately to this, and there just isn't the AT around.
Any mines on that path. He's going to be able to get there, seemingly. M8's trying to make it to that western road. Luke's is gunning straight for him. Here you go.
Oh, that's a vet fall of Luke's now as well. And,
here come the bazooka rifles, though. Will they be able to get the anti-tank rifle grenade off? They will not. Now into our 24th minute and counting. We've got return of the Hands. He's in the ascendancy, and J4Jet is rescinding his position.
He's putting up a good fight. I just don't think he's really got much left now. He's trying to drop cluster bombs.
Cluster bombs.
Passing. So we're going to see. This reminds me of is it PE from KotH?
Yes, it's very similar to the Luftwaffe butterfly bombs. They are in fact cluster bombs.
Yeah, I was expecting them to do the butterfly thing. I didn't realise they would.
That's the first time I've seen that. I've been casting and playing this game since 2012. I just never really see this commander. It's the last one I bought, by the way, and I've never actually gotten around to using it in auto much. So yeah, I've never seen that before. How funny is that? Do you know why that is, Dan? Because I only cast top level 1v1, so it kind of gets a little bit Lightning War versus Armor Company in every single game. So for me, this is like, ooh.
Oh, that's why this is so nice. It's refreshing. It is refreshing, actually, to cast something a little bit different. But one thing we are familiar with is announcing Helping Hands as being the beast of Company Heroes 2 as he wipes another squad, in fact the Lieutenant, with the Panzer II Lukes.
Yes, we had the same segue there, by the way. You literally stole the words out of my mouth. I was going to say the same. And one thing we are familiar with is... we're becoming the same person, Dan. It's a terrible thing, really. Elsewhere on the battlefield, we've now got the 50 cal in that prominent garrison. It's got weak health, though. But J4Jet really does have to branch out, because right now, this MG34 is capping the eastern victory point, which will leave him wanting... Ooh, we have had the major capped, the major built down, and the first port of call is, of course, Shimon the Jackson.
I think the Jackson is a very, very good choice here, and Hans has actually gone for the...
hide your panzers, hide your kids. It's the M26.
Yeah, but look, Hans has got the flame hetzer, so Hans is like down a little bit for a while on his fuel, and the Jackson with its huge range, you know, with a little bit of sight from the infantry, the Jackson could be very, very strong here. So this is a good choice from him. With 3 MGs, he can stop Hans from pushing in to get the Jackson. So I actually think Jackson is the strongest move he can make right now towards victory, if there is one.
Dan, I've got to make an apology to everybody watching us today. Unfortunately, at roughly 2 minutes past 6 today, I accidentally misspoke and called the Jackson an M26. But thanks to Puppet Master in chat, he's corrected me. It is the M36. All I can do is apologise profusely and without any form of defence. All I can do is apologise.
Thank you, Abe.
The Jackson's now on the field. Dan, this may actually allow J4Jet to really push into things, but there's only one Jackson and there's more than one anti-infantry vehicle, so it will have its work cut out for it.
He has to keep his units alive as the first port of call, and we're seeing late retreats there on the rifleman. He has to try and chase these down. It does have a pistol energy as well, which might help the damage, and there we go. But it does mean now that the Jackson can come around.
It's a killing zone for the Jackson. They've got to retreat past it, and he whistles over the head of the Hetzer. Hetzer's gonna Hetz, and had a low profile, and it dodged a shot there. And that Luke's is really going to be pissed off about that. Also,
I love that. That is actually going to be a thing now with the hatch.
Have you never heard that phrase before?
No.
No, well, yes, I just created it. I'm incredibly witty.
You're incredibly witty.
Nobody's ever said that before. That's awesome. Thank you.
Do you know what? I don't know if this is... Would you get the impression, as I have, that Helping Hands has controlled all 3 VPs for a lot of this game, yet for some reason inexplicably only, 40 VPs ahead of his opponent? How has this happened?
Well, you're wrong. He hasn't had 3 victory points for most of the game. It has felt like he's been in control for a lot of it, I would agree, but J4Jet's been able to cap victory points thanks to that brief spell of power when the Greyhounds were in vogue.
You know that the addition of the Flame Hetzer has removed these MGs from just stopping the Volks being everywhere, because now every time that one does set up and that Flame Hetzer comes in, the Raketans are stealthily moving forward, so they're going to be able to get in and cap the VP. Flame Hetzer's going to be able to stop everything to get there, and then the Lukes is just killing all those low health models. Oh my god!
A gun crew has been lost.
Oh, that was brutal. Another canister round.
Alright, just keep flicking around the screen and getting...
Is this 2014 again? I just saw another canister round wipe. There you go. Just so people know, the Flammen Hetzer has had some massive changes in this patch. Population down from 12 to 10. Minimum range removed. It can hit at any range now. Range increased as well. Burst increased from 0.5 to 3, so 6 times the burst duration. And its health has increased from 560 to 640. This is a really powerful vehicle now.
What was that?
That
Oh,
was on the gun crew that was being captured.
I get it. Okay. Seemed like the least likely place that would go, but fair enough.
Did well
Luke's chasing down that Greyhound A on the north side. Greyhound has not pulled back fast enough. The range of the Lukes right now is still pushing forward, not fearing any kind of mines. But he's going to chase it right back to the base.
Beach is going to die. Surely. No, the Jackson's here. Sorry, Miss Jackson. I am a Luke's. Oh, big shot goes in.
Killer shots from that thing this game. J4Jet trying to keep control of the VP situation, even though he pretty much has nothing left now. I would say this game is confirmed closed as the Panther enters the field.
There you go, the closer. If you set up the sail, it'll come out and push the agenda. The Panther wears the closing blazer. For those who are fans of late 80s sailboards. The Panther is a beast, and it's had a lot of changes as well. I CBA to find them myself. I'll just, again, link, or just write the word patch notes in chat with an exclamation mark. Sure. Slightly nerfed and normalised. Ooh, nice long-range rifle nade. This Hetzer, his last Hetz. And he has a Hetzer no more, surely. No! With a fragment of health, he remains. Bazooka rifles trying to get the last kill. Panther crushing them all the while. Will they get the bazooka round in? No, they will not. And the Hetzer will live on to Hetz once more.
Yeah, Hans realizes he can just push J4Jet. Now, he may be able to push him into a surrender if he dives in and manages to get a decent amount of damage done. I would have thought taking up the ambulance would be a great boost here, and Hans is actually going to retarget to destroy that unit, so great attention to detail and the things that are really going to tip J4Jet over the edge right now.
Tell you what, oh no, the Lux has had to come in because he felt there was an anti-tank rifle grenade coming from that bazooka rifle. A Vet 5 Lux is a killing machine. It's literally a Terminator from a distant future that has spawned to wreck your stuff.
You know that Jackson doesn't have veterancy yet.
What?
And that Jackson does not have veterancy yet. And I'm
swapped out the crew, surely. Must have accidentally pushed in a different crew, maybe? I don't know.
That seems crazy to me, actually, that wouldn't have veterancy.
But Helping Hands is a merciless king. He sits on the throne with an iron rule. And this rule of iron is coming into full focus right now with a Vet 5 Lux, a Panther. However, the last gasp of J4Jet are cluster bombs. However, they're not very good for moving targets, it must be said.
I'm trying to think of a single time I would use that ability.
Okay. A last gasp VP cap. And you need to deny the victory point being capped. Support weapon, a garrison, battle group headquarters. They've all retreated into base, and you drop the butterfly bombs on them.
Yeah.
Rifle about to die. It's not that exciting. It's just going to die a little bit there. There we go. Greyhound Vet 3 rushes in, and that also will die in due course.
You really do see that the rear armor on the Greyhound is so weak to the Lukes. At the front, it's nearly deflecting like most of the shots, but then from the rear,
they actually got the kill in on the Lukes. It survived. What the hell?
Yeah, you know, positioning with that is absolutely crucial because you really see on that unit the effects of rear armor there.
Oh, the Faust's coming in hunting. The Vet 5 Faust Grenadiers are pissed off. And the Panther's now going to come to take care of business. This poor Greyhound. They jump out. They're going to repair. Quickly! Weld it back together, lads. I think there's a bit of skirt missing. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's a gift.
Please don't hurt me. I'll give you the tank.
The Panther doesn't care. Oh, he's going to run back in. No, he's retreating back to base. Oh no! That would have been so funny if it pursued the crew with the Greyhound. That'd be hilarious. Could you imagine?
It would be. Yeah. He's actually gone for another Greyhound. Interesting.
Fantastic decision. If this was 5 minutes in the game, it would be a fantastic decision. But alas, it's 34 minutes, and it's terrible.
Well, as silly as this is getting, let's not forget this has been a great game, because at the start of this, the kind of light vehicle engagements that we saw, and the fact that we're just seeing what is a relatively unused commander, completely unused commander perhaps in the 1v1 has made this a really, really great first 20 minutes. But now we're in the late game, we're really seeing that it is Hands that is managed to come on top with good preservation with micro.
Tell you what, this Jackson's in an immortal battle against the Panther. He's fighting the rear arm. It takes ages to reload. Will he be able to get the final shot in? I guess so. Yes, he will.
Now, see, if we'd have seen that earlier, this may have been an entirely different game.
Stolen bazooka glances harmlessly off the M36's frontal hull.
I think a lot of people are going to find that increase to the Jackson quite different, but I mean it does deal very well with tanks that way now.
As we said as well, look at how it enhances manpower and fuel. He's a little bit BM there, doesn't really need to utilise it. Instead he's saving it for a rainy day. Doesn't carry over though, Hans, you might as well spend it. You get 3 more Hetzers for that price.
Jay's got to be thinking about throwing in the towel right now. His own Greyhound has come in to lend some shots against the Jackson. We're getting some decent shots up as well, but the base defense is going to push Hands away. And there is really nothing J4Jet can do. He is going to have to just suck it up. And I think this is his 3rd attempt? Is it? Is this his 3rd or 2nd attempt?
Continue the push. They are now at 100 points.
It's his 3rd game, that's right, isn't it? Because he did win a game to become king, and he lost the 2nd one to Paula, so... yeah, so he has had a win, to be totally fair to him.
He has. He's done very well so far in King of the Hill. And it's a very exciting platform to see some excellent strategies, and we're certainly seeing that. It's going to go great places. To everybody watching today, thank you for tuning in. All 686 of you. Wonderful to see that the community is still going strong, with future titles certainly in Relic's mode of thinking right now. It's an exciting time to be a Company of Heroes fan. New map revisions, lots of tournament activity. You must think of it that the quality of tournaments we're seeing recently has been really high. KotH 2 is being accepted by KotH 1 fans as a true sequel. A lot of KotH 1 players playing KotH 2, it's been noted. And it's just an exciting time.
The way that this game is looking now, because it has been increasing in quality over the years, is a very good lead-in.
Here comes Fatty! Fatty Wobble!
If J4Jet doesn't surrender now, I'm just like, come on.
And he's a gelatinous, fat bastard, and he's hungry for more. He basically sees this pizza base as a giant 18-inch margarita with a meat feast on top, a giant calzone, if you will. The Jackson is a side order of garlic bread, and he's for the taking. It's basically Daniel Hobden on a Friday evening.
Wait, I need to see this. I need to see what the Jackson does here. This is actually a good demonstration of the Jackson is currently. Look at the damage that it did without really taking any. It's now Vet 3.
Jackson, by the way, has a huge health buff. It's 640 health now.
It's like the Firefly. Just faster. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, they normalised the Jackson and the Firefly, and they had a balancers meeting. They said, why not we just make these vehicles the same as each other?
Nice.
One has rockets. It's almost like when Homer Simpson enters into that kids build a power plant competition. Frank Grimes nominates him, and Homer wins because he just builds the previous power plant but puts little wind flaps on the side for resistance. That's the Firefly's rockets.
Oh, he's going to get Fausted here, but he may take down the King Tiger because he's just doing so much damage and penetration. Being said, oh, this is tense. This is tense. Will the King Tiger get there first? Jackson.
Oh!
Fire too. I think the Jackson might.
Big
might.
88mm detonates.
Wow. That's a complete shift in how that engagement works.
What done? This lieutenant though, he's pissed off. This is one pissed off lieutenant. I think he's got a bright future for him. I think he could win the war. He's marching forward. Oh, it's over.
I never saw the ending to that story. Alright, let's kick this back to the lobby. Alright, so well played, Helping Hands, who is our current king with his third game.
Yes, well, including his coronation bout.
Exactly.
He's looking powerful, and if I recall correctly, Helping Hands was the first king to be coronated fully, and then we had to retire him. He was that good in the first season. He was unbeatable as Brits. And in this situation, though, it's going to be different. He's already started off with OKW and a few other factions, so it's going to be very interesting to see how next Sunday plays out.
Absolutely, yes. And guys who are watching, people who are signed up to the sign-ups list, get practicing, because with someone like Hans, who is king, you know, it's we're going to need high caliber players to come in and take him down. So I'm sorry, J4Jet, I am just going to have to pull up the match stats there, because
That's pretty brutal.
that was a lot of losses.
You do that, and I'm going to allow you to sign off on your own, because I know there's a Sunday dinner waiting for me. So
I'm sorry to keep you from that.
It's all right, my friends. Any time. Thank you, everybody, today. It's been wonderful casting for you and casting with Dan. And see you next week.
No worries. Bye. So, do not stop, we're being told. Don't stop. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, we are. I mean, sometimes you'll find that we do roll on till 7 o'clock. But I think, you know, 4 hours casting is draining, to be honest. You're not just looking out at like one team, you're trying to like go over two and chat constantly, so it can be exhausting, is what I'm trying to say. So we feel that this is a good amount of time, so sorry to disappoint you guys, but we will be back next week with Helping Hands as the king. And guys, get practicing, get ready to contest him. Thank you to, well, we had 700 at one point here, and thanks guys for tuning in and supporting KotH as a minor esport. Thanks for the subs, thanks for the donations to Godshent, Osgiliath, Tenchi. I think that was the subs that we had for today, so thank you. Your contributions will go into the prize pool, and that'll be updated on the spreadsheet for next week. So cheers guys, and I'll pass you over to a host of someone else. Alright, Tara.